So half the battle you getting there wasn't over because you never know which one are you going to be on the cutting room floor. So you better be bringing it every line when you get there.
Now my question is, you know, with Def Comedy Jam, it's like a huge staple in the comedy
It became a
world.
way of comedy because at the colleges they'd be like, "Are you a deaf comedy comic?"
Right.
Because it was so in your face. It was almost like hip hop.
Right.
You know, it became. But people say everybody curse. No, everybody did not curse. Cedric did not curse. AJ Jamal did not curse. James Stephen III, he never cursed. You got so many that didn't, but the ones that was so in your face, that's the ones they remember. Or if you stood out, like the Eddie Griffin stood out, the D.L. Hewley stood out, y'all end up getting, it was a stepping stone for bigger things. You know, like Steve Harvey and all these people. Steve Harvey was always a businessman. He owned the club. You know, Rashad McDonald owned the club. It was the thing where if you owned the club, you was automatically on the show, regardless. But the comics need to know how to handle their business and parlay stuff into bigger things. Just because you did Def Comedy Jam don't mean that's going to blow you up. Because the thing is, Def Jam didn't blow up Steve Harvey, but that was a stepping stone for him. You had ABC casting, NBC casting. Every casting person in the world was backstage watching to see who the next person is going to be.
Right.
They know the it factor too, and other comics know the it factor. You know by looking at somebody, this guy's special. I ain't the only one. Everybody around you can see it.
So with Def Comedy Jam being such a huge machine, why did it come to an end?
Every good thing comes to an end. After a while, it becomes complacent, and it's like you got to continue to find talent, but it takes years in order to develop that type of talent, you know? Then politics come in. Even the Def Comedy Jam became, they're like doing it because now you're getting oversaturated with some of the same. And you got all these other avenues coming at you now. It's like, what's so special about this one now? We got other stuff going on. You got Comic View, we got Martin Lawrence Presents, you got, because Comic View was on every day, 3 or 4 times a day, but after a while they kept changing producers and stuff. The show started becoming, why am I watching this? Because the comics weren't better. Because the ones that came up really, really put their stuff together to the point where they were perfection. Now you got these people copying off of other people. You sound just like that person. And Comic View pointed that out one year, and I stopped watching the show completely. Wow. They started putting crickets behind comics. They started showing comics doing the same jokes. We never would do that. Martin was probably the best host in the world. He brought you out with love. After your joke, he would tag your joke, and you could use that tag. If you didn't do well, see the thing with Def Comedy Jam, they would take more than they were going to air. So half the battle you getting there wasn't over because you never know which one are you going to be on the cutting room floor. So you better be bringing it every line when you get there. And make it easy. Don't make it easy for us to cut you.
Yeah.
But we would never air you if you did terrible. But we knew somebody was going to get, lights, camera, action was going to go into some new shit that they didn't try out. You don't come here to try out. You audition with what you want to put on TV. You worked hard to get here for this platform. Show us what you're going to do because we need to know your reason to be on the show.
Okay.
Whatever you worked hard for, the 3, 4, 5 years that you've been in, it doesn't matter. We only need 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh. 6 minutes, that's it. But a lot of times the comics, that's all they had, but it got them on the show. It's up to you to work on the rest. Because when people book you, they don't want to just see 6 minutes. They want to see, let me get that type 15.
Right.
Let me get that type 30. Let me get that 45-minute headliner.